I'm certainly not a naysayer when it comes to getting health information online, but there has to be caveats and guardrails. Check the source. If it's just an influencer, you shouldn't be getting your information from that individual. I'm not a gastroenterologist and I'm not a cardiologist, but the information that I provide you on my platforms is from credentialed experts.
Testicle, that's right. That's for honor. We got some bone marrow right here. That right there is for mastery. This isn't gonna taste good.
The carnivore diet. Why though? This is where I get into why are we doing this? I think that a lot of people in the health industry spend so much time pointing fingers at each other over fad diets, when the reality is that we've got much bigger problems with ultra processed food, the chemicals in the food, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. You get the idea. So if I was to really go after something, that would be the thing. When doctors like Ken Berry, who I think is a great guy actually and have a huge amount of respect for, talk about the benefits of a carnivore diet, in my personal opinion, we're comparing that to the standard American diet. So of course, a carnivore diet is an elimination diet, right? You're removing ultra processed carbs, sugars, and all the chemicals I just talked about, because you're really basically just eating meat, protein, organs. So when you remove all of that crap, you're going to feel better. But if we move to something a bit more balanced, an omnivore diet, where you're eating whole food, all 3 macronutrients, lots of plants. I'm a big believer in plants. And if you've ever listened to any of my podcasts with Dr. William Lee, we talk all about the fact that there's no such thing as an anti-nutrient in food. If meat had the data behind it for robust, overwhelming health benefits that fiber does, I mean, my God. When you look at plants, for example, let's take a pomegranate. Pomegranates are one of the most potent things to help your body rebuild a colony of Akkermansia in your gut. And my point is that there are a million other things like pomegranate that you lose in the carnivore diet.
Baking soda has so many benefits, yet people think it's some sort of cleaning product. Every morning, grab some baking soda and water and pour a little in there.
Baking soda being used to prevent heartburn. Now, baking soda is actually in Alka-Seltzer. And you might think, well, I'm going to go take an Alka-Seltzer. Well, Alka-Seltzer also has other things in it. And you want to use things like Alka-Seltzer, things like Advil, very, very sparingly. They have side effects. They're not good for your gut. There's a host of reasons. But taking matters into your own hands here, there's a reason you have heartburn. The goal is to get to the bottom of that reason, not to try to treat this on your own. And the reality is that you can take too much baking soda. Baking soda can be bad for people with kidney disease, for people with high blood pressure. This is something that you should not be supplementing with on your own regularly. In fact, back in the day on Biggest Loser, we used to use sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda, as an ergogenic aid, a fat burner, a performance aid, and it was strictly monitored by the show's doctors because they would get electrolyte imbalances from sweating all day long. So again, my point of bringing that up is while it can be a very effective tool for things like heartburn or things like electrolyte imbalance, you shouldn't be doing this yourself.
Make this drink and you're going to lose 40 pounds less than 2 months.
And here's what you're gonna need. Some oatmeal, half a lime, and 1 cup of water.
I need this thing to work, 40 pounds?
Oatzempic is so stupid. It's, you guys, there's no comparison for oats and GLP-1 mimicking drugs. GLP-1 is a naturally occurring peptide. It's a satiety hormone, and the body releases it for 15 minutes after you consume a big meal. And it's meant to be one of those hormones that puts the brakes on the eating, right? Hey, we're good. Chill out. Fantastic. This is not that naturally occurring peptide. It is a replica of that peptide. Long story short is that shot stays in your body for about 7 days, the effect of that shot. Whereas naturally occurring GLP-1 is in your system for 15 minutes. So if you eat oats, you got a shot of them releasing more GLP-1 naturally for 15 minutes. Now, what's going to release more satiety hormones? Protein, fat, fiber. When you consume something like a soda, there's no protein, there's no fat, there's no fiber. So you want to eat oatmeal, get yourself some organic steel cut oats. It's got great fiber. It's really good for wound healing. Yet another conversation I've had with Dr. Lee on one of my podcasts. But no, this is not Oatzempic. Don't even get that twisted. That's complete baloney.
This is what happens to psyllium husk fiber after it enters your stomach. Psyllium husk is rich in soluble fiber, which absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance. And this gooey gel can have some pretty cool health benefits.
Fiber is great for you. I obviously would like for people to eat high fiber foods because that's how the body is designed to take in fiber, and there's nutrients that accompany the fiber with the food. And drink a lot of water to make sure that any amount of fiber you're taking in, it's pretty hard to get too much fiber, but if you're going with something like psyllium husk supplementation, it's possible that you're staying hydrated. A friend of mine, her mother was having gastrointestinal issues and she was constipated. And she kept taking psyllium husks. And came to me and was like, nothing's working and she's getting sicker and sicker. To make a very long story short, she ended up having a bowel obstruction. And that's not what you want to do when you have a bowel obstruction. This is what I talk about when I say, like, we don't take medical issues into our own hands. Like, I'm constipated, let me go after it this way, because you can make a bigger mess. Juice fasting. I'm going to put this into the same category as carnivore, and I don't mean it has the same health benefits. That's not where I'm going with this, so nobody go too crazy. My point is that any benefit that you would see for this would be an elimination component. You've stopped drinking and you've stopped smoking, and all you guys that do these juice fasts have gone on a bender, and then you go on a juice fast because you were doing God knows what, God knows where, and you know who you are. You're not judging. I'm just saying, let's be real with each other. The key to a quote cleanse is going to be removing, but the second piece is going to be restore. And juice is not really the ultimate way to restore. We want fiber. So if you're like, well, I'm leaving the fiber in there. Okay, great. But is it fruit juice? Because that's a lot of sugar. When you have a glass of orange juice, it's like the sugar from 8 oranges. But when you have an orange, it's the sugar from one orange, the calories from one orange, and it's delivered with fiber, which lowers the glycemic impact on your body. If you want to incorporate vegetable juice, sure, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. That's great. It's tough they say juice your vegetables, eat your fruit, because it's tough to eat all those vegetables to get all those nutrients. So when people go on fast, over the course of 2 days, they put their body in a state of what's called autophagy, which really is where the body culls dead and senescent tissue in a more efficient way. You're not getting that on a juice cleanse. If it's about reducing calories, I mean, you could do that without being on a juice cleanse. There's no reason to cut out things like healthy protein and healthy fats and healthy fiber. It serves no purpose to do that. In fact, you want to restore those things for a healthy diet. So honestly, there's no reason to do this unless you just, I don't know, you love it, and that's okay. Just keep those things in mind. And you're doing it for a finite period of time because we need protein. So this better be limited. Being empowered in your own care is important. It depends on who you're getting the advice from and then how you utilize it with a medical professional. So you don't go shoving garlic cloves up your nose because you saw it cures a sinus infection on TikTok. Don't inject yogurt into your private area because you saw it helps with a yeast infection. Don't do this crazy. Don't do it.